Some people move through life collecting opportunities, support, and success with ease. It's not luck. It's not just timing or connections. There's a formula behind it, and it begins with something deceptively simple. They ask clearly, boldly, consistently. This is the art of asking, and once you understand how it works, you'll realize that getting what you want is way more possible than you think. If you're serious about becoming your best self, you're in the right place. This is the playbook you wish you had, and every episode is designed to give you real tools to level up. So, if that's the kind of growth you're here for, consider subscribing. It makes a big difference, and it helps us keep making content that helps you. Let's break it down. Let's start with a hard truth. Most people don't get what they want in life, not because they're not smart enough, not talented enough, or not capable enough, but because they never ask for it. Jim Rohn, one of the great minds in personal development, said, asking is the beginning of receiving. And yet we don't ask. Why? Because we're afraid. Afraid of hearing no, afraid of seeming needy, afraid of looking silly, greedy, or even ungrateful. So instead of asking for the raise, the opportunity, the mentorship, the help, the feedback, or the dream, we stay quiet. And let's be honest, silence doesn't get rewarded. Now let's get something straight. Asking isn't begging. It's not whining. It's not crossing your fingers and hoping someone reads your mind. Asking is intentional. It's direct. It's an act of clarity. It's an act of confidence. When you ask, you're not being annoying. You're showing leadership. You're showing vision. You're saying, I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to go for it. You're telling the universe and other people exactly what you need to grow to move forward to level up. Think of it like this. Asking is the spark, and without a spark, there's no fire. So, what actually happens when you start asking? You begin to see new opportunities. People engage with you, doors start to open. Not always with a yes, but with direction, feedback, or a connection you didn't see coming. You go from waiting for life to happen to creating momentum. You shift from passive to active, from wishful thinking to intentional action. Here's something wild. A study from Harvard Business School found that people consistently underestimate how likely others are to say yes to a request. Researchers discovered that people are far more willing to help than we expect, especially when we ask directly. Think about that. We're holding ourselves back based on fears that aren't even accurate. And we're not just talking about big, life changing asks. It starts with the small things. Want a mentor? Ask. Want a better deal? Ask. Want support? Ask. Want to promote your idea? Ask. The worst that can happen is a no, but if you don't ask, the answer is already no. Here's another example from the real world. The author Jack Canfield, co creator of Chicken Soup for the Soul, was rejected 144 times before a publisher said yes. He just kept asking. Same with Colonel Sanders, yes, the KFC guy. He asked over 1,000 people to invest in his fried chicken recipe before someone finally said yes. Imagine if he stopped at 50? The people who succeed aren't the ones who avoid rejection. They're the ones who ask anyway. Now let's get practical. Here are three simple but powerful keys to asking effectively. Key number one, be clear. Vague requests get vague answers. If you say, can you help me? That's too open-ended. People don't know what help means, but if you say, could you review my resume and give feedback by Friday? Now that's clear, actionable, and respectful of someone's time. Specificity shows that you've done your homework and that you value their effort. Be precise, be focused. You're much more likely to get a yes. Key number two, be bold, not pushy. Confidence is attractive, pushiness isn't. Asking with boldness means you believe in what you're requesting. It means you've thought it through. You're not begging, you're presenting a win-win. According to a study published in Psychological Science, people who express confidence are perceived as more competent, even if they're wrong. That's how powerful a presence is. So show up with conviction. Ask like you mean it. People can feel your energy and they respond to it. Key number three, be ready for no. This one's big. Because if you're terrified of rejection, you'll never ask in the first place. But no, it isn't the end. Sometimes it's just not right now. Sometimes it redirects you towards something better. Sometimes it teaches you how to ask more effectively next time. Each no builds resilience. Each no is part of the journey toward the yes that changes your life. Reid Hoffman, the co founder of LinkedIn, says if you're not embarrassed by the first version of your product, you've launched too late. The same goes for asking. If you're waiting until your pitch is perfect, your timing is perfect, or your confidence is perfect. Like you're missing the point. Just start. You don't have to wait for a life changing moment to practice this. Start small. Ask a friend for feedback on something you created. Ask a coworker for help instead of struggling alone. Ask your client for a testimonial or a referral. Ask for more responsibility at work. Ask to be paid what you're worth. Make asking a habit. Normalize it in your daily life. Because the more you ask, the easier it gets. And eventually you expect good things to happen because they do. Here's a simple way to build your asking muscle. Write down one ask per day. That's it. Doesn't matter how big or small. Ask for advice. Ask for an introduction. Ask for an opinion. Ask someone to collaborate. You'll be surprised how fast your confidence grows and how often the answer is yes. Let's zoom out for a second. Behind every success story is a moment where someone asked. They asked for mentorship, they asked for the deal, they asked for the raise, the chance, the opportunity. Every author asked for a publisher. Every entrepreneur asked for funding. Every leader asked for a team to follow them. Every movement started with someone saying, "Will you help?" Nobody builds a great life alone, and nobody gets what they want by staying silent. So don't be afraid to knock on the door because sometimes the only reason it hasn't opened is because you haven't knocked. Here's the big idea to take with you. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you ask for. Let me say that again. You don't get what you deserve. You get what you ask for and asking. It's not weakness, it's wisdom. It's not about entitlement. It's about clarity. It's not about forcing. It's about activating. So here's your challenge. What's one thing you've been wanting but haven't asked for yet? Is it help, support, feedback, a raise, a meeting, a second chance, a first opportunity? Ask today, out loud, clearly. Because you never know what's on the other side of one bold question. And as Jim Rohn said, asking is the beginning of receiving. If this message resonated, consider subscribing for more content like this and drop a comment below. What's one bold ask you'll make this week? Thanks for watching. And remember, your future might be one question away.